Today is the feast day of Saint Ambrose, famous bishop of Milan, Italy, died right at the end of the 4th century. Now, Saint Ambrose is one of those great saints that gets the additional special title of Doctor of the Church. Now, this has nothing to do with medicine. The word in Latin, doctor, means teacher. And so there are special saints that, in addition to being named a saint, they get this title doctor because they have been an outstanding teacher in some area of the faith, that they're recognized for their great learning, their teaching ability. In the case of St. Ambrose, he is a doctor and a bishop of the church. Now, it's interesting that he is a bishop because he was just a layperson who was on a sort of diplomatic mission to the city of Milan, sent by the prefect of the Roman government, because the previous bishop of Milan, well, he was a heretic. He, I know, hard to believe, but at that time, almost half of the church's bishops, were told, were overcome by a certain heresy called Arianism. This was largely settled at the Council of Nicaea, that Jesus was, in fact, well, God and man, fully God, fully man. It caused such a ruckus at the Council of Nicaea that Santa Claus, St. Nicholas, who we celebrated yesterday, actually punched the heretic Arius in the face, for which we're told Santa Claus got sent to jail. Fortunately, Santa got out, and Arius on the naughty list, and those who profess that Jesus is true God, true man on the nice list. Well, at the time of Ambrose, this heresy was still kind of going around. There were lots of Arian bishops even teaching heresy. Ambrose went to settle a dispute because the Arian bishop had died, and the people, well, they were a little sick of heresy. And so Ambrose goes to ostensibly settle a political problem. If there's heresy, it means that the church is not uniting the good Roman citizens as the church should by this time. And so there's a political problem. Ambrose just goes to try to make peace, settle things down. But the people are so starved for the Orthodox right teaching that after Ambrose comes, a little boy supposedly cried out, Ambrose for bishop. Well, just one problem. Ambrose wasn't even a Christian. He was a catechumen, so he wasn't even baptized yet. But the people are so starved for the faith that when they hear it, they're like, Ambrose for bishop. And all the people apparently joined in. And so Ambrose is he's baptized first. Good to get that out of the way. So now he's actually Christian. And then after being baptized, like, okay, let's ordain him a deacon, and they ordained him a priest, and then they ordained him a bishop. He got all three level of holy orders right there, and he was made the next bishop of Milan. Sometimes that's how things worked in the earlier days in the church. So Ambrose becomes bishop of Milan, and he continues to teach the Orthodox faith. Now, this is very important because, unbeknownst to him, a young man from North Africa comes and is sitting in his cathedral one day and hears this incredible teaching. Well, he decides, I need to change my whole life. This stuff that Ambrose is teaching, it's true. And I need to conform my life to the true faith in Jesus. And so this young man also gets baptized and changes his life. Now, you might have heard of St. Ambrose, but you've probably definitely heard of this young man, Augustine, who was sitting in his cathedral and changed his life because of the preaching of Ambrose. Augustine is probably one of the most famous converts in the history of the church. He was living a life of dissipation, even got a woman pregnant out of wedlock. He was following heresies. He hears Ambrose and he changes his life, receives baptism, much to the joy of his mother, Monica, who'd been praying for it for years. And now the whole church has another doctor, St. Augustine. Imagine if Ambrose hadn't done all the work to learn the faith, and then if he didn't preach it and teach it. Sometimes we hear that, oh, well, no one becomes Catholic because of, just intellectual arguments. Well, Ambrose did. Ambrose converted the entire city of Milan because of his eloquent teaching of the faith, and eventually converted St. Augustine because of his eloquent teaching. Look how important it really is that we know the faith. Heresy has real consequences. Ambrose came, put an end not only to heresy, but gave birth to the true faith in Milan that converted Augustine and ultimately converted most of Europe eventually. How about that? So, do you think it's important you know the faith? Yeah, it is. Because you never know when you're going to be the Ambrose to an Augustine who God will send you. Wasn't anything flashy Ambrose was doing. He was just preaching the true faith. But he knew it and he taught it. Hopefully, the same can be said for us. Learn your faith well, teach it. You never know when God might send you the next Augustine. So go out today and be a good Ambrose. God bless you.